Well, over there, here's the simplest way to get higher fees without changing a word of your offering or even your offer. Here's how I think about it. We can craft the ideal solution, the right price, the right benefits, the right presentation, yet still watch potential clients walk away. So the secret isn't in our offering or the offer, it's in our timing. Here's what I mean. Most consultants, or perhaps I should say many consultants, present their services the moment they think they've explained enough. They feel they've covered the key points. So naturally, they think it's time to make the offer. But here's where it gets interesting. They're operating on their timetable and not the client's timetable. Think about it for a moment. When someone first hears about our solution, they're processing several ideas simultaneously. They're evaluating whether or not they trust us, whether or not they believe our approach will actually work for them, and whether they're ready to take action now. Now, unfortunately, too many consultants, and I do mean too many in this context, jump to the offer before the client has completed this mental journey. Sadly, consultants with excellent solutions struggle with conversion rates simply because of timing issues. So, what are the signals we need to look for? They're surprisingly simple once we know what to look for. First, we watch for engagement changes. When people become genuinely interested, they lean forward. They ask specific questions about implementation rather than general questions about our approach. They start using future tense when we implement this instead of if this works. Second, let's listen for ownership language. Instead of saying your system, they'll say our approach or this could help us. They're mentally moving from evaluation to using the product or service. I often call this the pronoun shift. When we're looking at the difference between the use of your and our, that's when we spot this pronoun shift. Third, let's notice when they start solving problems that don't exist yet. They might ask about timelines, about what their team will need to know, or how to measure the results. These aren't objections, they're actually buying signals disguised as practical and understandable concerns. Now, here's the crucial part. When we spot these signals, we need to resist the urge to immediately present our offer. This is where timing becomes an art rather than a science. Instead, we need to acknowledge what we're hearing. It sounds like you're already thinking about what would work in your business. Then we explore that thinking with them. We need people to sell themselves in their answers to our well crafted questions. And that's how I spend my life writing those well crafted questions. And when we take this position of listening to what they say and guiding them, this is when the magic happens. It happens in the space between their interest and our offer. The longer we can sustain genuine dialogue about using our ideas without being pushy, the stronger our position becomes. When we do present our solution, that's when they start to want to hear it. Let's be clear about something else. This isn't about manipulation or creating false scarcity. We don't do that. It's about respect, respecting their decision making process and allowing them the time to reach their own conclusions. I've seen this approach increase conversion rates substantially simply because the offer comes at the right moment rather than at the convenient moment. So here's a practical way to test this in your next client conversation. Instead of following perhaps your usual script, if you have one, create natural pauses. Certainly after you explain key benefits. Are questions like, how do you see this working in your situation? Or what would success look like for you with this approach? And then we listen carefully to the responses that we get. Is that client or potential client asking practical use questions? Are they using future tense? Are they already imagining the outcomes? When we hear and see those signals, we need to explore them further before making the actual offer, the money part. We just let the conversation develop naturally. We develops around their vision of success. Let's remember, the goal isn't to extend every conversation unnecessarily. Some prospects simply aren't ready, and that's perfectly fine. But for those who are genuinely interested, giving them space to process and seeing that success creates a much stronger foundation for our actual offer. The reality is this: perfect timing with a good offer beats perfect wording with poor timing every single time. Our clients will tell us when they're ready to hear our solution. We just need to know how to listen and how to listen for the key things that we need to know and how to wait for the right moment. So, if you've been wondering why similar presentations produce different results for you, perhaps it's time to think more about timing rather than paying attention to the words we use, important though they are. Trust me, your conversion rates will thank you for it. If you've enjoyed this video, there's plenty more of my videos around here. And if you'd like to be notified when I post a new one, which I do regularly, then just hit that subscriber button. In the meantime, I wish you every success in all your adventures in life. And aren't there many to be had? From me, Peter Thomson, until the next time, goodbye for now.